you're supporting your law, right? And we started ourselves first too, right? And this is only one of the examples that I kind of show that how the high school, students, especially girls, were feeling freedom and they were happy, right? And these, girls now, the high school girls now, they are in jail in their homes again, right? After that, they have this freedom. So that is the feeling that is bothering me a lot, right? We helped a lot, we trained a lot, we pushed a lot, and let them, and they taste the freedom, they know freedom, and now they're in jail again. So for sure that we have women in every other part of the organization. This is army, and when that's a really sad part of the evacuation too. When the evacuation started, the U.S. evacuated 18,000 of army and special forces, all men, right? And for 3 months after that Kabul was fallen, I was in Amsterdam, they were communicating and trying to find me and other journalists and telling them that we are hiding under the ground. What should we do? And still there is like 1,800 of them still is stuck in Afghanistan, in every cities and in every places, which whenever Taliban arrest them, will kill them. So we had elections for sure, right? And this is another, a brave action that we did, people from Afghanistan, right? Although that it was a lot of threats from the Taliban, for example, cutting the, hand and finger. If they see the, in your finger, they cut your finger and all this. But in this village, a woman was coming with her child to vote, just to say and just to tell us to know that I do not want that my child experience the hard life that I had, because she thought that republic and democracy's only system will take them to the happiness and happy life. And for sure that this is Bamyan, the city that the New Zealand has a base, Kiwi base, right? So we had a
very historical city actually.
Exactly, this is the Buddha statue, the big one. And this is much more, perfect in the engineering of that time, 1,500 years ago. And this girls made for the first time one of the important movement, which was the girls' bicycle movement. So they got and they kind of break the biggest taboo that the girls cannot use bicycle and ride in the city. That was a big taboo in Afghanistan. So they started this movement and they went to every other cities and they showed that now is the time that we can just show ourselves and we can just use this opportunity.
Actually, I should mention this festival has a big reaction in Iran, because in Iran, according to a policy, women cannot are not allowed to ride bike or so it was inspiring on that one.
And if I'm not mistaken, one of the things that I know about the New Zealand forces is that they, fund this, bicycles. Some of them. I used this picture for a poster for my exhibition in Germany in 2008, and that exhibition I called it unfinished business, because 2008 everything was really good and everybody was so hopeful. Just look at the face of this young lady. She's so hopeful, right? And she doesn't have her job, and she really feels free to have this happy moment. And because it was Eid, even you could see that without any fear, she had henna in her hand and just get out in the streets. So we had a lot of security and freedom that years. Well, again, I do show you more about the society, but again, I try to focus on women in the society. So, not this one. Civil society, again, started by a lot of push that we made. And in 2009, there was a really big attack on the Lebanese restaurant in Kabul, which was a big story behind it. I'm not going to go for the details, but the story was that some of these countries, our allies, was doing a smuggling weapon from Afghanistan to Ukraine. And then this restaurant was the center that people, the intelligence people were visiting, meeting each other, right? And that's why that it was bombed. This restaurant was bombed, but unfortunately a lot of people and 2 friends of mine have been killed. And then this artist complained, protest the next day. And his name is Kaba, and he's living in Austria. Well, we had again movement in every other part, like demonstrations for the rights, for the economy, for the war, for peace, and in many of these demonstrations, women trying to lead the demonstration. Why I just also say show this picture. She's one of our really active and loud woman activists, and fortunately she was evacuated to New Zealand, and she's living in Auckland. So in 2004 we start a lot of other parts like the culture, cinema, and film industry, pictures. And Ruya Sadat, who got she left Afghanistan in 2020, but she got probably more than 20 biggest awards for her activities. She made a lot of movies. One of the movies that probably, if you like it, you find it, it is a letter to the president, which was really great. Another one is 3 Dogs. So these movies had a lot of prizes from the Cannes Festival, from Oscar, from all over.
Yan Mackenzie, born 1838. Okay. Mm-hmm. From you. $18.82. You making money off them. Mm-hmm. Like what? Cleaning toilets and what do you do for them? Ah. For the business? Or like interesting. Yeah, because there's a trust thing. Yeah. Ah. Yeah. No, no, no. Oh, yeah, it's being real. Then they call you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, yeah, but control, yeah. But that's right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, that's part of life. Yeah, people are gonna be people. Yeah, because even the things that I do, like you'll find people like because I'm on a bunk bed, right? So I'm on the lower bunk bed, and this guy from the UK says like, when are you leaving? Like, yeah, excuse me, like, it's like, because I'm putting my dibs on the lower bunk bed. People are very like looking out for themselves, like they would, when it comes down to it, like people will take things away from other people if they can benefit from it. And then all this, like, things that they would say, oh no, I'm being fair, I'm being all this, but people was just like, when it comes down to like money and all other things, they will first look for themselves, take care of themselves. And it's and also, like, to be part of it is like being you're not gonna call somebody racist, but part of this, like, you look different, and then they rather get things away get things away from you because you don't look you don't look like they do, so that's part of it. Mm-hmm. No, I think you have to keep an eye on, like, things like that, and it's sometimes people try stupid things, but they think they can get away with it, and you just have to make sure you put them on, you call them out, like, no, that's not the right thing. So I just call people out when I think that they're not doing, or they're gonna do something that's not fair, or about to take advantage of you. So yeah, because you can't be silent. You can be silent, like, maybe I'll just give them the, benefit of the doubt, or they're not gonna do this, but just have to, like, don't do it, don't do it. So I'm not saying you're gonna do this thing, but I'm just like letting you know that I see what I see. Yeah, sometimes you just say, what we get. Sometimes you just like, oh, my friend, if I leave, then you can put you can put the dibs on it, like you can, just nice things. But obviously I'm not in control. Like if I leave the place, somebody books it, and they'll probably give it to that person. So but just like to make them hear things, nice things, like, you can have it. I'm not here anymore, so you can fight it out with the other people that wants the lower bunk bed. It's yours. So because you do, that's the thing, and I don't know, I mean, it's not like I like humid, but I think
So she's one of my really great friends, and to be honest, I'm really, really proud of her, that she did a lot for Afghanistan. And this is a picture that I took, one of the last pictures before June, July last year. So this is the palace, the famous palace of Afghanistan, which called it Dorlaman. This palace was destroyed totally in the war. And I took this picture to just show that one of the things that happened and was reconstructed was this palace, and then we had a lot of cultural events on that.
Can you go faster?
Sure.
I'm really sorry,
I know.
This feeling, but just.
This is the another part of our society, and Zaulan was the last Jew for Afghanistan, right? So he left in 15th of August too, and he never wanted to do that. I really wanted to have this synagogue as a cultural center, but I had to leave the country too. So we had women and civil society, performances everywhere. And for sure that why I show this is that maybe you don't see a lot about the weddings, right, in Afghanistan. We had that much freedom that we could just use any kind of ceremony or celebration that we wanted. And for sure that in 2010, again the civil society got bigger and much more powerful. Right now, this is what it makes me really sad. Right now, there is nobody of these people in Afghanistan. None of them. All of them were targeted. Some of them have been killed, right? And the rest had to flee. We had like performances inside and theaters to show that war is not good. This is the role and the responsibility that my society was doing it, right? So the main thing I'm gonna say is that do not forget and please do not get it wrong. We did a lot for our country, right? So if everybody is talking about Ukraine now and say that Ukrainian people are fighting there, is because Ukraine was a country, was a state, and it was a good state. We were nothing. We fight first time for the US against the Russia, again for the sake of the world. We fought again in 2002 with the terrorism and international terrorism by the help of the NATO, again for the sake of the world. And now we have been victimized again for the sake of the world. We had elections, we had a sports tournament, and this team even beat the ISAF female team, the NATO female team in Kabul.
Most of them, I think, are in Australia, the football team.
Yes, one of them I think is here in.
She's.
So Nancy Dupree, probably know her, right? She did a lot of services and jobs for Afghanistan.
I'm
She
really
was
sorry,
really
Master. Can we
grateful.
see some photos of war? Yeah, we should have audience.
Yes. Yeah, I know that everybody wants to see the war too. I should say that it will be a lot of graphics in this. So he was being killed by mistakenly by a NATO soldier. There was a big attack, and here, this is the place that the track was being exploded. And if you see that destroyed everything around it.
Is that a mosque?
Yes. Only the mosque is going to stay there for some reason. So we had inside Kabul, there was assassination on Karzai. So that day was a really horrible day. Several people have been killed, and I lost my passport. So this is the one of the really sad day that I was. It was 30th April 2018, and I got completely down, and I got completely tired of whatever was going on. I could not go. To do anything. I tried to sleep at the house till 11 o'clock and then go to the job. Every day there was an explosion and attacks. And we had ISAF and NATO, but we did not see them to help anything for us. Right? So that day I've been called by a colleague. He could not go to take this the picture, and I'm so happy that he didn't. When I arrived here, and when I just sat on the ground in this kind of angle, the second explosion happened in this way, right? So I took pictures. This is the moment that explosion happens. I took the picture, and then I get up, and I saw that the explosion happened exactly in the corner of the journalists. So I ran, and the first thing that I saw after the smoke was the Reuters camera man was shouting and saying that Masood Shahmarai is being killed. And Shahmarai was my colleague in AFP for 7 years. We knew everything about each other. We had a lot of plans for each other, right? We going to each other's house. I knew the children and I knew the family. And then I saw that the body was in front of me, is being killed, and in this way and in this situation, right? On that situation that I told you that I was completely tired, right? I was completely hopeless, and I didn't know what to do. What else should I do for my country? I was losing my friends every day. And to be honest, this is what I really want to say, that in the same year, there was a magazine, there was a report around the world talking about the violence about the journalists, but none of them talk about 9 journalists who have been killed in Kabul. Why? Because the media, the Western media, did not want to bring Afghanistan news for their own population. Did not want to talk about us anymore. So we were being killed by their mistake, right? But nobody knew.
Can survive in a humid weather than like the rain or windy and cold. I think I prefer like it's humid and then you can just like decide when to go out, like, you know, it's like in the afternoon or evening that the sun is not beaming anymore. But when it's cold the whole time. No, there's no it's no like, it's either you put your layers on or yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's what I do. That's what my or it goes yeah, well, you live in a hill. You can just open the big French door. Oh, no longer, yeah, no longer. Yeah, I used to, yeah. So now you live, but still, you know, I know there's a good breeze around that area. So weird. All right, I'm going to a electrical shop because I need to use their loo. So I'm gonna go inside. I'll talk to you later. All right.
This is what the war is doing to people. Training the army. And in 2006 and 2007, when the biggest attacks start happening to the military vehicles, right? There was, can I just say that?
Yeah, of course you're not.
There was a week, right? That in Saturday I woke up by explosion, right at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I ran, I covered it, and then I sent the pictures and the post. And the next day I said, okay, tomorrow I will get up at 6. The next day, another explosion, exactly the same story happened in 6:30. So again, I had to run. You know, when something happened and we ran, so for sure there is a lot of excitement, right? And you might fall on the ground, you might be wounded, whatever. And then I said, okay, tomorrow I'll get up earlier. And the next day, this biggest explosion happened, which killed 34 soldiers, right? And we went there. It was my country again, and I have to say, I had to help also. I was taking pictures, and then I have to help and take the bodies, which was inside these places. It was completely mixed by the metal of the buses, right? And that's really difficult, right? When you see, I told you that I came with a lot of hopes, and that's the this picture shows that how I lost my hope for the country. This was another biggest explosion. Well, it had a lot of other graphic pictures, but I choose this one to show you that there was a communication company that I told you that internet and media was a really big success in Afghanistan. So then was hit by a track bomb. And you know who organized this attack? Haqqani, who's the interior minister of the Taliban now. And some of the European countries, right, invite him to Europe, invite him and his brother, right? And one of those spokesperson of that group was citizen of New Zealand, and he still has the passport. And I will be so upset if someday he has to try to come and visit his family here. Then we cannot say that we are fighting against terrorism together.
Thank you, Master. I think we should have get some question from the audience.
The last one, because
yeah, but I think we can have just some few questions.
Sure.
We can go.
Okay. So this is the picture of Pulitzer. I won Pulitzer with this picture. So I'm really, fast. I have to tell you that this is Tarana, and she lost all of their, family, and these are all relatives that they were living in one compound, right? Just imagine in 2012 that a lot of money has been expended for Afghanistan, a lot of troops were there, right? Then when they understood that the war in Afghanistan go to the religious part, right? They left us. So Tarana lost her brother, and she screamed, right? And here it was one of her relatives. She was pregnant, and here the little sister who lost kidneys, right? And I was wounded in this attack too. And I tried a lot. It was so difficult to do a lot of jobs together. But I had to do it. I had to take pictures, I had to report, and I had to be activist to save people, right? It was so difficult. I was wounded, and I had to just try to find the body of this girl. And I found her in a hospital. She wasn't dead. She didn't die, but she lost one of the kidney, and later the doctor told me that she might lose her leg. But The last time that I met her was 2 years ago. She had problem walking, right? And now they're stuck in trouble. What is the main idea, the main thing that is bothering me a lot in this story is that they all think, all the family, right? They all think that I got a lot of fame and money out of this picture, and now I left them alone like this, right? But the important is that when Kabul was fallen, right, I could not get a visa for myself to get away easily from Afghanistan, right? I covered the big number of the operation from the Western countries, NATO countries, for their media. You can go, even you can find it in your newspaper here, my work, right? But when Afghanistan is going to fall, even nobody was trying to give me a visa to get away from that. Not family, myself, even didn't give me a visa. So this is the end of this intervention for Afghanistan, right? This is the result that we have right now. You can just read it yourself.
Thank you very much, Marsu. I think please just ask very shortly please other questions.
Can I?
Other questions.
I was just curious to find out. I was just going to say if we could raise the house lights a little bit, and if you have a question, just raise your hand and I'll bring a microphone across to you so that everybody can hear us. Yes.
Kira, I just wanted to suggest something about New Zealand's reasons for being in Afghanistan, and that is much more concrete than mere allegiance, but the simple fact that we want a trade agreement with the United States. And if you look at our military policies, both operational and procurement over some decades, they seem to be completely seconded to trade policies, which seems to lead our foreign policy entirely. And the New Zealand government will sit down with anybody. They sit down with the Saudi dictators, the Burmese military, the old Burmese military regime, Chinese Communist parties, anybody. We have a totally immoral government when it comes to trade, and the deployment to Afghanistan was simply a bargaining chip to put on the table with the United States and say, we helped you, give us a deal.
I thought it was a statement rather, Christian.
It was a statement, so we can go to the next question.
Question, Hank?
Kia ora. I wanted to say a huge thank you, Masood, for your presentation. I wanted to say I think Nikki lets people off the hook quite a lot in New Zealand, because since 2005, there have certainly been very, very credible media reports from Nikki, from John Stevenson, about New Zealand's human rights violations in Afghanistan. I think we as a country need to examine our deeply white supremacist perspectives about Afghanistan and the Middle East and most of the rest of the world that has allowed this deployment to continue in the face of those media reports, in the face of the evidence of human rights violations that allow these, the war on terrorism to roll out for 20 years, largely unquestioned by almost everybody in this country, save for a very, very few people. There is a question in there, Masood, and that is, do you have any hope for Afghanistan now? Is there anything that is going to happen? Are there any lights there?
Not really, to be honest. That's the question that I ask all the time myself from the other countries that they came and intervened in Afghanistan. That if you did not want to finish your project, then why you came to Afghanistan? And then why you were the reason that more than 200,000 people been killed in 20 years. More than 200,000 people have been killed in 20 years, right? And if you could finish the project and we had the public, we had democracy, we would forgive. But now, what can we do? There is no hope. Everything is being fallen. The society is being fallen. You know, the worst collapse is when the society collapses. Our society is collapsed now. We do not know each other as a countrymen anymore. We are enemies with each other. Why? Because you came to play a role in our policy and you failed it. So there is no hope.
Thank you.
The only solution that I'm thinking right now is that if we cannot get this opportunity again in the history of Afghanistan, that every 40 countries come with a lot of money and try to help us. So, but if we can again, that's what I tried, right? This is my role now. That's why that I made this event. Is that we try to tell them and try to ask them to support us to separate and to divide our country to have peace. We do not want the people being killed. We do not want that Taliban stop girls going to school. I spent 20 years of my life. I worked a lot. And even right now, nobody recognizes me. I do not have my society. I do not have my home. And from all prizes and everything that I brought to to Afghanistan, now I have my camera, laptop, and hard drives. That's it. I don't have anything else as an example from Afghanistan. So the rest of the people even are worse than me. And this is not fair.
Thank you very much. I should mention something about refugees, Afghanistan refugees all around the world. I promised some refugees in Indonesia, they have been there for almost a decade, to raise their voice to, I think New Zealand as a country that was involved in that war, I think you can do more. You know, New Zealand take 1,500 refugees per year, and I think New Zealand has this capacity to take more and help more people, people who have been stuck in Indonesia, for example, in other countries for almost a decade. Yeah, and in the end, just I wanted to thank you, Nick. It was really great. We hear from the perspective of New Zealand. This was very important, and thank you very much, Masood. I think you are going to leave New Zealand. What do you think about New Zealand? That is the last question.
Well, for sure that when I arrived here, I feel really good, to be honest. For me, it was a new world. Honestly, I did not know a lot about New Zealand, and I never thought that I will travel to New Zealand. But anyway, some stories happened, and then I was invited here, and I really love the country. I've been traveled to 36 countries in these 20 years, doing exactly the same thing that I'm doing right now, right? To say the truth, to show the truth, and tell the people who think that they are supporting us know that what's going on in Afghanistan, right? So in these 36 countries that I've been, I saw a lot of reactions. I saw a lot of behaves, right? Well, I don't want to criticize any, special countries, but I didn't see any discrimination against myself here. I've been treated really well, and I'm really thankful for all friends and everybody, Mr. Phil also, that helped me a lot to stay here, because when I was in Holland, I had to leave Holland because my visa was finished. The humanitarian visa was expired, and you're gonna say something. And then, because I made a demonstration for the refugees in Netherlands. There was a lot going on there. Netherlands was under a lot of pressure. The government was so weak for Afghanistan, and they had to fire two ministers and all this, right? So I made a demonstration for the rights that they should give to Afghanistan refugees. So when my visa was going to finish, still I had to wait for a month to my immigration visa from the US arrive. And they didn't extend my visa. They told me, we're gonna put you in the camp and you apply for asylum, or we will send you to another European country. We don't send you to, we are really good, we are really kind, we don't send you to Afghanistan. But they knew me, I won their prestigious award too, WordPress Photo. They knew it, I had my award from the hand of their king, right? And I said, no, I do not want you to decide for me. But at the same time, I didn't know what to do. So I had an invitation here by the help of my friend Phil, and I could come here, and I could wait here, and I kind of kept my honor.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really, in the end, I really appreciate you for taking time and giving us this opportunity that we hear from both of you, and also from all of you who attended the event. It's really important that we just hear about the war, and we could have this opportunity to hear from us.
Your time is
Actually, not finished. I want to. Now, in the end, just once again.
I just wanted you see the video.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm not a controlling person. But I think before, I've done many events, so I'm worried. Yeah, we are not worried. But in the end, I should just ask people that please don't forget people of Iran, that these days they are protesting, and women of Iran. It's really important that you show your support in social media or whatever that you can. And also tomorrow at 11 o'clock in Cuba. Which part of Cuba? Yeah, that place for.
Bucket fountain. The ark water.
Something I like that a lot. It's very interesting. In that place, there is a gathering to support, to show support to Iranian people and protesters and women. And I think it would be great if you have time that you attend that. And also, I would like to thank Sasha. She really organized everything. Thank you.
Kia ora tātou. I just wanted to also close everything and just say thank you so much for coming. It's a full house, and that's really awesome to see, especially like was said earlier, on a rainy day and Friday evening. So yeah, first of all, thank you Masood, Hosseini, Nikki Haga and Behruz Buchani for joining us this evening. It was really amazing to hear from you. Also wanted to, Festival, so the Centre for Asia Pacific Refugee Studies, Te Kuaka, which was formerly New Zealand Alternative, and the City Gallery. Yeah, they really helped us bring it all together. Also Asan, who's been taking photos. And then so we've got an hour in the foyer, we've got drinks and some delicious food, so please do stick around. We have some very special Mantu, it's a